Now that we've created a blank screen and done our housekeeping, it's important if we're going to create instruction that we put some objects on the screen. So in this slide we will demonstrate how to input some objects on the screen. I'm going to try to make a version of the slide we used as a demonstration at the beginning of this workshop. And to do that we need to insert some things on the screen. Perhaps the most important object we can insert are text boxes. And so to begin this demonstration I'm going to go to the Insert menu, Insert tab here. I'm going down here to Text, and I'm going to select a text box, and I'm going to insert a text box up here that we can use as a title. And as you remember, the slide we created before was on Terry stops. So I'm going to put Terry stop in here. That looks a bit small to me, so we're going up to the Home menu. We can come down here to the size. We could also change the font, of course, but I'm just going to increase the size here. I'm going probably to like a 28, and let's see how that looks. That looks to me like it's about right, and I want to move that maybe up a little bit so I have plenty of room on my screen, and so I'll put it there. Now the next thing I want to do is we're going to try to create a slide that demonstrates what a Terry stop is. So the next thing I want to do is insert a description of a Terry stop. So to do that I'm going to go here, create another text box, grab it here, and now I'm going to put that text box here. It's going to be fairly big. We'll see if that will hold it or not, and may move this up just a teeny bit there. Alright, now I can of course go here and immediately type, but I don't want to do that because to save time here I have already typed my definition, my description of a Terry stop in a Word document, which you won't see here, but I'm going to go out to that description. I'm going to select it and copy it just like you do in a Word document, and then I'm going to come back here to my PowerPoint and I'm going to paste it. So that's our definition of what a Terry stop is. It talks about how police can retain somebody, they can do a limited search, etc. Now, having inserted my definition or my description of a Terry stop, I would like to illustrate this. And I have some pictures, so I want to illustrate it with pictures. So again, I go to the Insert menu, I go to Images, I go down here to Pictures, and it will open up a document on my computer where I have stored already some pictures in a document called Images. And so I can go here and select and say, all right, this is the first one I want. I'm going to select that. I'm going to position it here so it's a little where I want it. Now I'm going to insert a second picture, Images and Picture. Again, it comes back. Here's my second one. I'm going to insert that, position it next to the top one. And maybe I'll move these up just a little so I have plenty of room below for my explanations. Alright, and so there are my pictures. Now what I'd like to do is insert a couple of buttons that I'm going to use to label these examples or not examples. So I'm going to go up here, Insert, and now I'm going to insert a shape. So I go to Illustrations, I go to Shapes, and here we get all kinds of shapes, and this list goes way down off the screen where you can see it, but I'm just going to select this kind of oval here. I'm going to stick it under the picture here, and then I'm going to put some text in it. Now, because it's a shape and not a text box, I have to right-click on it and come down here to where it says Edit Text, and that will allow me to put some text in. So now I'm going to put text in that says, this is an example. Now, the next thing I want to do, I want to copy that button and put it under the other picture. So I'm going to select the button. I'm going to hold down the Control key, and you can see that I can copy it. So whenever you want to copy an object on the screen, you merely select it, hold down the Control key, drag it, and you'll create a duplicate. Now there's one other trick we can use, so I'm going to eliminate this one. I'm going to start again. I come over here and select it. I'm going to hold down the Control key, but I'm also going to hold down the Shift key at the same time. Now it will keep it in line when I drag it, and so it'll be lined up with the other one. So now I've created a duplicate of this button. However, this is an example. This is not an example, so I'm going to go back over here and modify this one to say this is not an example. And now I want to say this is an example, so I'm okay. I just had the wrong label on there to begin with. But now we have them labeled. This is not an example, this is an example. So now I want to include an explanation of why one is an example and why the other is not an example. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to insert another text box. Here, I'm going to put that text box here below this picture here. And now again I have created it. Again, I can type text here. But rather than doing that, I'm going to go copy some text that I already have. And so I'm going to eliminate that. I'm going to copy text that I already have in a Word document. And so I'm just going to copy this text over here. And I'm going to, you couldn't see me do that, but it's a Word document, it's not on your screen. But I'm going to paste it here. And so this is an explanation. I want to spread it out just a little so it'll fit a little better. Maybe move it up a little tighter. All right, so there's my explanation of why this is not an example. Now I'm going to put another explanation under the other one. Now I can copy a text box the same way I copied the shape. So I just can select the text box. I can push the Control key and the Shift key at the same time to make it in line, and I'm going to move it over here. But now, of course, you'll notice that the message I have here is not the correct one. So now I'm going to eliminate this part of the message. I'm going back to my Word document where I have this message stored. I'm going to copy the message from the Word document, and then I'm going to paste it in the box here. And now I have the explanation of why this is an example. Now, I'd like to kind of emphasize the why. We can do all kinds of editing on the text in a text box. So I'm going to select this why by double-clicking on it. I'm going to the Home menu, and under Font, you can see here's the color of the font. There's all kinds of colors. It looks like red is already selected, so I'm going to click on red, and I have a red Y. I will do the same thing in this other text box, and so I can go to the Home, down here again, and make a red Y. All right, now I have created this screen. This is the screen we first demonstrated was kind of an interaction screen. This screen is merely a demonstration of a definition of a Terry stop, a couple of illustrations, one example, and one not an example. Later we'll describe the instructional design principle underlying this slide. But for now, we have created a slide by inserting objects on our screen. In the next slide, we will show how to create interaction. So we will make this interactive. So instead of showing the why, we will ask the student to click on the button to see the why. So that comes up next. We will start to look at animation.